Fellas, let me tell you something. If she only loves luxury, she's not here for you. Not really. Because the moment a woman's heart is set on the glitz, the glam, the gold, and the glitter, you've got to understand that her love isn't built on the foundation of who you are, but on what you can provide. And that's a dangerous place to stand, because love that's tied to luxury is never love at all. It's a transaction. It's a deal. It's a temporary arrangement that lasts only as long as the money flows and the perks keep coming. You see, a woman who values luxury over love, over loyalty, over connection, she's looking for a lifestyle, not a partnership. She's chasing a status symbol, not a soulmate. And fellas, you can't build a real relationship with someone whose eyes are on the label on your watch instead of the man wearing it. If she's measuring you by the car you drive, the house you live in, or the designer on your shirt, then brother, she's not here for the man you are. She's here for the man she hopes you can be, or the things she wants you to buy, and that's the harsh truth. Because real love isn't about the things you can flash, it's about the character you carry, the integrity you show, and the respect you give. It's about the late night talks when the money's tight. It's about the way you hold her hand through the storms, not just the sunny days. It's about the sacrifices you make, the way you uplift and support, even when there's nothing flashy to show for it. Fellas, if you want a woman who loves you for you, then you've got to be that kind of man, a man who's authentic, dependable, and real. A man who builds even when no one's watching, because a woman worth keeping won't be dazzled by the surface. She'll be drawn to your soul, your vision, your commitment. She'll stand by you in your struggles and celebrate you in your triumphs, no strings attached. But here's the thing, you have to set the standard. You can't let a hunger for love blind you into accepting less than you deserve. Don't confuse a high-maintenance woman who demands luxury with a queen who nurtures your heart. Don't mistake temporary excitement for lasting connection. Because when the money dries up and the gifts stop coming, that so-called love will disappear like smoke. You want to know what real love looks like? It's in the woman who sees your flaws and still chooses to stay. It's in the woman who lifts you up, pushes you forward, and challenges you to be better. Not the one who's constantly asking what you'll give her next. It's in the woman who loves your dreams as much as she loves your present. And fellas, that kind of love lasts. That kind of love builds empires, families, and legacies. So if you find yourself in a relationship where you're more of a bank account than a man, it's time to wake up. It's time to recognize your worth. You are more than your money, your possessions, your status. You are a king, and a king deserves a queen, not a gold digger. Don't settle for someone who only loves what you have. Hold out for the one who loves who you are, who believes in your journey, and who's ready to build a future together through thick and thin. Because fellas, luxury is fleeting, it fades, it breaks, it loses value. But real love is priceless. It's rare, it's powerful. It's what will carry you through every storm and celebrate with you at every victory. Don't trade your crown for a moment of shine. Don't trade your soul for a shallow relationship. Be the man who demands more from yourself and from those you let into your heart. Let your love be a reflection of your strength, your values, and your vision. Because when you do, the right woman will come. The woman who doesn't just want luxury, but who wants legacy. The woman who loves you not for what you have, but for who you are. Remember, fellas, if she only loves luxury, she's not here for you. She's here for what you represent in her life. A means to an end, not a partner for the journey. Don't settle for that. Aim higher, love deeper, live bigger. And when you do, the kind of love that lasts a lifetime will find you, not the kind of love that lasts only as long as the credit card bill is paid. You deserve that. You're worth that. So stand firm, keep your standards high, and never ever settle for less than the love that honors the man you are. Fellas, here's something else you need to understand deeply. When a woman prioritizes luxury over love, she's not interested in the work it takes to build something real. Relationships, true partnerships, demand sweat, compromise, and emotional labor. They require vulnerability, the courage to be seen for who you really are, flaws and all. But a woman focused on luxury is often not ready to meet you there. She wants the polished, the perfect, the Instagram highlight reel, not the behind the scenes grind. And that's why her love is fragile, because it's built on external factors that can vanish overnight. You might find yourself caught up trying to impress, trying to keep up appearances because you think that's how you keep her. But listen carefully, no amount of flashy cars, expensive dinners, or designer clothes can fill the emptiness that comes from a love that's transactional. The moment the money slows, the attention fades, and what you're left with is a hollow relationship drained of authenticity, trust, and respect. This is not to say that success and ambition are bad, far from it. A woman who loves luxury isn't necessarily shallow if she also values the man behind the success. The problem arises when luxury becomes the main criterion for affection and commitment. If she's only present when your bank account is full and your lifestyle sparkles, then her loyalty is as conditional as a contract. Real love isn't conditional. It doesn't check your balance before it chooses to stay. Now think about the kind of man you want to be. Do you want to be defined by the balance in your bank account or by the strength of your character? The man who builds wealth but also builds wisdom, patience, and humility is the man who attracts a woman that values depth over dollars. She's drawn to your vision for the future, your ability to weather storms, and your commitment to growth, not just your latest paycheck. And fellas, understand this, women who truly love you for who you are don't expect you to be perfect. They see your imperfections and love you anyway, because their love is rooted in connection, not perfection. They celebrate your victories and hold your hand through defeats because they believe in the man you're becoming, not just the man you appear to be. That means your worth isn't measured by the possessions you accumulate, but by the legacy you build. The way you treat others, the way you carry yourself, and the way you honor your commitments are what create true value. Luxury fades, but respect endures. It's earned through actions, consistency, and integrity. You have to be willing to walk away from relationships that drain you, that ask more than they give, that see you as a wallet instead of a partner. It's tough, I won't lie. The temptation to settle for superficial affection can be strong, especially when loneliness or insecurity creeps in. But settling never brings peace. It only builds walls around your heart, blocking the possibility of something genuine and lasting. In fact, settling for less than you deserve can become a vicious cycle. It lowers your self-esteem and teaches others that it's acceptable to treat you as less than a king. Breaking free from this cycle demands courage. It demands self-love so powerful that you refuse to accept anything that doesn't uplift and inspire you. It means choosing solitude over bad company, growth over comfort, and authenticity over appearances. This is the man who commands respect, not by flaunting wealth, but by embodying strength, humility, and purpose. When you know your value, you don't have to prove it. You attract quality because you project confidence and self-awareness. You don't chase, you attract. You don't beg for love, you give space for love that's real to grow. And let me say this, there's nothing wrong with wanting a good life. Everyone deserves comfort, security, and joy. But the key difference is whether those things are your foundation or your frosting. If luxury is your foundation, the base that holds you up, you'll crumble when it's taken away. But if love, respect, and character are your foundation, luxury becomes a blessing, not a necessity. You need to build a life so full of meaning and purpose that no material thing can replace what you have within. When you're that man, a woman who only loves luxury can't hold your heart captive because your love isn't available to be bought or sold. You become someone who's untouchable by superficial temptations because your spirit is anchored in something deeper. And here's another truth many men overlook. The journey to success is often messy. It's full of setbacks, late nights, sacrifices, and moments when the bank account looks less than impressive. A woman who loves you for you will understand this and stand by you through the grind. She'll be patient with your process and proud of your hustle. She'll celebrate your efforts and be your biggest fan even when the spotlight is off. It's easy to love a man who's already won, but it takes a real queen to love a man who's still winning. That's the kind of love that builds empires, love that's loyal, enduring, and unconditional. It's love that's earned through shared struggles, honest conversations, and unwavering commitment. Fellas, I want you to reflect on the kind of relationships you've had Were they about true connection or were they about what you could give? Were you valued for your presence or for your possessions? Understanding this is crucial because awareness is the first step to change. You can't fix what you don't acknowledge. Now imagine a relationship where love isn't measured by dollars or gifts. Imagine a bond built on trust, respect, and shared vision. Imagine waking up every day to a partner who believes in you, challenges you, and loves you unconditionally. That's the kind of love that transforms a man, that lifts him to new heights and empowers him to be his best self. You have to hold out for that. You have to be willing to walk away from anything less. Because when you do, you open the door to a relationship that nourishes your soul, not just your ego. You create space for a queen who sees your worth, who matches your ambition, and who stands with you as an equal partner. And guys, don't let anyone tell you that wanting this kind of love makes you picky or hard to please. It doesn't. It makes you wise. It makes you a man who knows what he deserves and refuses to settle for anything less. It makes you a man who values his time, energy, and heart. So focus on building your empire, not just your bank account, but your character, your vision, your legacy. Work on becoming the man who commands respect, love, and loyalty without trying. Because when you do, luxury becomes an accessory to a life already rich in meaning and connection. This journey requires patience and faith. It requires you to trust that the right woman is out there, one who won't be dazzled by the shine, but will be captivated by your light. One who won't be interested in what you have, but who will cherish who you are. And remember, real queens are rare, but they exist. They're not interested in superficial displays. They want substance. They want partnership. They want a man who can lead, but also listen, who can provide, but also protect emotionally, who can dream, but also deliver. You owe it to yourself to find that kind of love, the kind that lasts beyond the surface, beyond the shine, beyond the fleeting pleasures of luxury. Because at the end of the day, a man's greatest wealth is not what's in his pockets, but what's in his heart and mind. Build that wealth first, and the right woman will come, not because you bought her attention, but because you earned her respect and love. That is a love that withstands storms, that grows stronger with time, that creates a legacy you can both be proud of. And when that love comes, it will feel like freedom. Freedom from doubt, from insecurity, from the endless chase for approval. It will feel like home, a place where you are accepted wholly and deeply. That is the prize, fellas. That is the treasure worth waiting for. Stay true to that vision. Stay disciplined in your growth. Keep your standards high, because you're not just building a life, you're building a legacy, one that luxury alone could never buy. Guys, let me dive deeper into this truth that too many men overlook. When a woman's heart is set on luxury, what she's really chasing is security, but not the kind of security that comes from emotional connection or mutual respect. She's chasing the security that comes from material comfort, status, and validation. That's why the luxury-loving woman is often drawn to displays of wealth, power, and influence, because those external signs make her feel protected, important, and valued in a way that her own self-worth may not allow her to feel inside. But understand this. No matter how many diamonds, cars, or designer bags she collects, if her love is rooted in those things alone, it will always be shallow and fleeting. You see, men, when you build your identity around providing those things, you're setting yourself up for heartbreak. Because material things can be taken away in an instant. The economy can crash, jobs can be lost, fortunes can vanish. And when that happens, the woman whose love depends on those things will disappear with them. What remains is loneliness, bitterness, and regret. A man left wondering why the love he thought he had was never really there to begin with. But the man who builds his life on values, on principles, on a vision bigger than his bank account, he creates a foundation that no external force can shake. His strength comes not from his possessions, but from his character. His worth is not in what he owns, but in who he is. That man commands respect, not because of what he can buy, but because of how he carries himself, how he treats others, and how fiercely he protects his integrity. And here's something crucial you need to hear. Your emotional intelligence will determine the quality of the love you attract. Luxury can impress the eyes, but emotional intelligence touches the heart. It's the ability to understand, to empathize, to communicate honestly and deeply. Women who seek luxury may have never experienced that kind of emotional connection, so they try to fill the void with possession. But when you bring a man who can truly listen, who can show up emotionally, who can be vulnerable without losing his strength, that kind of man awakens a woman's soul in a way no luxury ever could. You want to be that man, the man who understands that love is an exchange of hearts, not bank statements. The man who knows that respect is earned through consistency, through showing up when it's hard, through putting in the work every day to nurture the relationship. You want to be the kind of man whose presence brings peace, whose commitment builds trust, and whose actions speak louder than any gift ever could. Now, let me be clear. There's nothing wrong with success or enjoying the fruits of your labor. It's your right to live well and to share that life with someone you love. But when you let the pursuit of luxury become the core of your relationships, you're missing the essence of what love truly is. It's not about impressing or buying affection. It's about being present, being real, being committed. And guys, recognize the patterns. If a woman's interest spikes only when you're at your peak, when your career is booming or your social media shows off your lifestyle, that's a red flag. If her questions revolve around your finances more than your feelings, if she talks more about what you can give than what you share, it's time to step back and evaluate, because you deserve a partner who is interested in the fullness of your life, the good, the bad, the mundane, and the extraordinary. Think about the energy you bring into your relationships. Are you constantly trying to prove your worth through material things? Are you exhausting yourself to keep up appearances? Because no amount of money can replace emotional availability. Women want to feel seen, heard, and valued for who they truly are, and they want the same for you. A relationship built on mutual respect and genuine connection is what creates lasting happiness. And here's the deeper layer. Luxury-focused love often masks insecurity. When a woman demands luxury to feel loved, it's often because she doubts her own value. She tries to compensate for that by attaching herself to a man's wealth. This is a call for healing, not judgment. But for you, it's a warning to guard your heart. Loving a woman who hasn't found peace within herself can lead to codependency, disappointment, and emotional turmoil. You want a partner who is whole, who adds to your life without draining it. This is why self-love and self-worth are your most powerful assets. When you love and respect yourself, you don't settle for relationships that feel transactional. You attract people who see your value beyond the surface, who love you for your mind, your spirit, and your soul. You build connections based on authenticity and shared vision, not on possessions or status. Fellas, this also ties into the legacy you want to leave behind. Are you building something that lasts beyond your lifetime? Are you creating a story of love, strength, and character? Because a life spent chasing luxury without meaningful relationships is an empty life. True fulfillment comes from connection, from love, from knowing that you made a difference in the lives of those who matter. So I want you to think long and hard about what kind of legacy you want. Do you want to be remembered for the cars you drove, or the hearts you took, for the flashy parties or the quiet moments of loyalty and support, for the Instagram followers or the family that stood by you through thick and thin? Your actions today determine that legacy. And here's something most men don't talk about enough. Boundaries. You have to set clear boundaries around what you will and won't accept in a relationship. You have to communicate your values clearly and stand firm when those values are challenged. If a woman's expectations are based solely on luxury, you must decide if that aligns with the man you want to be and the life you want to live. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about honoring your self-respect and protecting your emotional well-being. Setting boundaries isn't just good for you. It's good for the relationship. It establishes mutual respect and clarity. It shows that you are serious about who you are and what you deserve. And when a woman respects your boundaries, it's a sign she's ready for real partnership, not just a superficial connection. And don't be afraid to walk away. It's one of the hardest things a man can do, but sometimes it's necessary. Walking away from a relationship that's based on luxury rather than love is an act of self-care and courage. It opens the door for the right woman, the one who values you wholly, to come in. It shows that you value yourself enough to refuse anything less than authentic connection. There's power in waiting, power in patience, power in knowing that your worth is not diminished by being single or by refusing to settle. The right woman is not a fantasy. She is a reality waiting for you to be ready. When you work on becoming the best version of yourself, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, you raise your standards naturally. You attract partners who match that energy. And here's something vital. Never confuse loneliness with love. Too many men rush into relationships just to fill the void of solitude, and in doing so, they compromise on what really matters. Don't settle for companionship that's conditional on your wallet. Wait for the kind of love that ignites your soul and challenges you to grow. Fellas, keep growing your emotional toolbox. Learn how to communicate your needs clearly. Practice patience and empathy. Develop resilience in the face of setbacks. These qualities not only attract the right partner, but also sustain long-term love. Luxury can never teach you these lessons. Only life experience and intentional growth can. And as you continue to grow, remember that vulnerability is strength, not weakness. The man who can share his fears, hopes, and dreams openly invites intimacy. The man who can listen without judgment creates safety. This is how deep connections form, not through gifts, but through shared humanity. Let me also remind you that love is not a transaction, but a partnership. It's about two people building a life together with mutual respect and shared dreams. It's about lifting each other up, not tearing each other down. Luxury might look good on the surface, but it can't replace the foundation of trust, respect, and unconditional support. Fellas, one day you'll look back and realize that the relationships built on anything less than true connection were just detours on your path to something real. Embrace those lessons, but don't let them define you. Keep moving forward with integrity and purpose. Because when you build from a place of authenticity, the right woman won't just love your success. She'll love your journey, your struggles, your growth. She'll be there when the lights go down and the world fades away. That's the kind of love that fills your heart, enriches your life, and stands the test of time. So keep striving, keep growing, and most importantly, keep loving yourself fiercely. The love you seek will find you when you're ready, not because of your possessions, but because of the man you've become. Got it. Here's the continuation, crafted as a seamless motivational flow, adding depth without repeating previous phrases. Fellas, you've got to realize something vital about true connection. It thrives in authenticity. A relationship that's anchored only in luxury is like a castle built on sand, impressive at first glance, but doomed to collapse the moment the tide comes in. What you need to build is a fortress, strong and unyielding, founded on real values and genuine affection. It's about showing up fully, not just when it's convenient or comfortable, but when it's hard and messy, because that's when character reveals itself. That's when love proves its strength. The man who embodies this truth is one who leads with courage, not just on the outside, but within. He understands that vulnerability is the birthplace of intimacy, and that real strength lies in emotional availability. To be loved deeply, you have to be willing to be seen deeply. No luxury can substitute for that kind of courage, that kind of openness. And fellas, there's a profound power in patience. In a world that glorifies instant gratification, waiting for the right partner, the right moment, or the right relationship can feel like a risk, but it's actually an act of wisdom. Patience allows you to develop yourself fully, to build emotional maturity, financial stability, and spiritual grounding. So when the right love arrives, you are ready to nurture it properly. Understand this. The pursuit of wealth and status is not inherently wrong. It's how you pursue it that matters. If your pursuit becomes a substitute for meaningful connection, then you've lost sight of what truly matters. But if you pursue wealth as a tool to create freedom for yourself and for those you love, then it becomes part of your purpose, not your identity. When your identity is rooted in purpose, you are not defined by what you have, but by what you contribute. You want to be a man whose presence brings value, who inspires growth in others. The woman who sees that in you is someone who wants to build alongside you, not just ride your coattail. She wants to celebrate your victories and stand firm through the defeats. She wants partnership, not sponsorship. And fellas, that kind of relationship is priceless. It's also important to remember that self-respect is your compass. When you respect yourself, you set standards that protect your heart and your future. You don't tolerate disrespect or superficiality disguised as love. You demand honesty, loyalty, and mutual growth. And when you uphold these standards, you naturally attract women who embody the same value. Let's talk about emotional baggage too. Sometimes a fixation on luxury masks deeper wounds, insecurities, unmet needs, or past traumas. For you, it's essential to recognize your own wounds and work on healing them. A man who heals his past creates space for healthier relationships. He doesn't seek validation through material means, but finds peace within himself. That inner peace radiates outward and draws in love that is pure and lasting. In your journey, surround yourself with mentors and brothers who hold you accountable, not those who enable shortcuts or superficial success. The right circle will challenge you to grow emotionally, financially, and spiritually. They'll push you beyond your comfort zone because they see your potential and want to see you become the man you're meant to be. Remember, leadership in relationships starts with leading yourself. Master your habits, your mindset, your emotions. Show up consistently as a man of integrity and vision. That's magnetic, that's attractive. That's the kind of man a queen wants by her side. Not a man whose value is tied to a paycheck or possessions. And fellas, never underestimate the power of legacy. The life you build today isn't just for you, it's for generations that come after you. When you build relationships based on authenticity, respect, and love, you create a blueprint for those who will follow. You create a family culture grounded in strength and honor, not in shallow measures of success. Your words carry power too. Speak with intention about yourself, about your dreams, about your relationships. Affirm your worth and your vision daily. When you speak positively and confidently, you reinforce your own belief system and set the tone for how others treat you. Negativity and doubt only attract more of the same. Your voice is your declaration to the world. Make it count. And finally, never forget that you are worthy of love just as you are. You don't have to be perfect or have it all figured out. What matters most is your willingness to grow, to learn, and to love authentic. When you accept yourself fully, flaws and all, you open the door to receive the same kind of love in return. So take this moment to recommit to yourself. Build your life on purpose, integrity, and emotional depth. Reject superficiality disguised as love. Embrace the challenge of becoming the man who commands not just admiration, but respect and genuine affection. That man is waiting to be unleashed. The man who attracts not luxury, but a legacy of love that endures. Keep striving, keep growing, and never settle for anything less than what truly fulfills your soul.